call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go! I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, gotta feel the tension. In my thoughts.
Welcome back, everybody. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below. We got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days left till week 1. It's gonna be crazy, and it's like even more nerve-wracking that it's at 4 o'clock and it's not at 1. So now you have to watch a whole slew of games, just thinking in your head about what's gonna happen at 4 o'clock. But today we're gonna be discussing why I think Tua is going to play all 17 games. So I think a lot of people, I see it in the comments from a lot of people that don't like Tua, and it is basically that Tua is not going to last the 17 games. He's going to get injured again. The concussion is going to happen again. All the things that they're saying. So I wanted to bring up Drew Brees, because what we all have to consider is Tua is at the exact type of situation that Drew Brees was back when he was first drafted. So Drew Brees had a so it wasn't a concussion, but back then they didn't really care about concussions like they care about them now, which is a good thing. But he had a significant injury. I think he tore his rotator cuff in his throwing hand. So you have to kind of understand, again, what we'll talk about thinking 10 years in advance versus right now. Yes, Tua had injuries, but he was also 22. He's a young kid trying to learn the game of football, and he had just transitioned from a completely different offense that year. The thing is, Drew Brees ended up getting picked up by the Saints, and what ended up happening is he became one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for a very long time. I mean, won a Super Bowl, all of that. Why do we not consider that with Tua? His are concussions. And the thing with Tua is, in the offseason, most of the offseason was dedicated towards this. It was dedicated towards fixing that concussion part and the injury part, because he realized, and his trainer realized, that he could not stay on the field the entire season. So what I can say to you guys is, yes, Tua is going to play all 17 games. He put on all this muscle and has learned how to fall. If you look at him, I think it was something that's funny that was said on Reason's podcast, is every time he falls, he looks like a Ninja Turtle, because he just tucks his head into his little shell and falls on his back. So that's what I'm going to tell you guys, is that you have to compare him to Drew Brees. Drew Brees was one of those that a lot of people thought his career was over. It was his throwing hand. I mean, that's just nuts. And he came back from that and played a good, more than a decade, I think it was. Yeah, because he was in his 40s. So played a decade and some change, and was one of the best quarterbacks, and at one point the top quarterback in the league. It was like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees. Those were the top quarterbacks in the league. Our fan base has to think of things like that. That if he completely settles this, you're going to have one of the top quarterbacks in the league for a long time. That's what I'm not understanding, what people don't consider. That is why I think that Tua is going to stay on the field the whole year. Jiu-jitsu is a serious sport. And jiu-jitsu is basically a sport that you are being thrown to the ground as much as possible. That's the whole point of the sport, is you're being the same way that he was flipped when he was playing the Bengals. That's what you're doing. You're trying to grapple your opponent to the ground. You're trying to throw them to the ground. If they did that and had the same mentality Tua did last year, most people would get concussions when they go to jiu-jitsu. That's the reason why you learn how to fall. Because in jiu-jitsu, you're constantly being flipped to the ground. Well, it's the same thing right now in football, except on top of that, he has learned how to fall, and he's learned what hits to take. As you can see, he immediately when he sees someone's going to get hit, he's bracing for the fall, and that's something that he did not do last year. He didn't brace for it. He was still trying to make a play. Tua last year, it was like mid-grapple, he's getting tackled. He's still trying to get the ball to somebody, like Patrick Mahomes or something. I think with this year, now he understands. Every time he sees or he knows he's about to take a hit, he's going to immediately see them and brace for a hit. And it's just a simple move that he just didn't know how to do last year. So now you know how to do that, and he's done it the whole summer. You know, it takes 2 weeks to make a routine of something. 2 weeks of consistency. He's been doing it the whole summer. So now you can see every single time he has the same reaction when he's going to get hit. And he's learning how to not take injuries. And then on top of that, you added on like 20, 30 pounds of muscle. So that gives you that brace for impact as well that he didn't have last year. He was very slim last year. This year he looks much bigger. He looks huge. He looks like that Hawaiian huge. So him coming into this season, I just think it's going to be sky's the limit. And I do believe he's going to play 17 games. He's going to take us to the playoffs. He's going to do his thing. He's not going to get injured. Everybody takes small injuries, but he's not going to get injured like he did last year and the year before that. He's going to stay on the field. He's done everything that he needs to do to stay on the field. Everything that he needs to do. He's going to play. And that's what I think most people are kind of scared of, is that Tua is going to play. He's going to play every single game. And when Tua is playing, that's the problem too. And I think what a lot of people are scared of is that every time he was getting momentum, he got injured. If Tua just keeps continuing the momentum, oh boy. He plays, on week 10, he's in there playing. His momentum's still in there. Bro, it's going to be almost impossible for you to stop this offense. It's just straight up. It's going to be impossible to stop this offense. No one is going to. But just let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think he's going to play all year? Do you think he's going to suffer an injury? Whatever you think it is, knock on wood. Or do you agree with me? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. As always, hope you have a great rest of your day. Fins up, baby. Peace.